Alright guys, in this video we are going to talk about how to create and use a list in Scratch. So what is a list? A list is basically just like it sounds. It's a list of things. For example, you might have a shopping list, okay, and on that shopping list you'll have some items, for example, bread, milk, eggs, apples, etc. Now you can delete something from a list, right? You can edit the list. I can say milk times 2, right? And you can even leave an item blank from the list, right? So there's a lot of things you can do with a list. So now let's take a look at how we can use a list in Scratch. So first thing you want to do is go to variables, then we're going to click on make a list, okay? So let's click on make a list and we'll call this list fruits. We'll call it fruits. Go ahead and click on OK. And you'll notice on the right hand side, we have our list called fruits. And right now it says it's empty, right? Because we haven't added anything to it. So how do you add items to a list? First way to do it is do it manually, okay? By clicking on this little plus icon right here. You click on the plus and you can add items to your list. So let's add some fruits, okay? Let's add apple. Let's add another one. Banana. All right, very good. So now we have our list of fruits and we have 5 things inside our list, okay? So now if you look on the left-hand side, we have a bunch of new blocks, right? That are, related to our list that we just created, okay? So let's look at some of these blocks and let's see what they do. First, we'll start with these right here. Show and hide, this one, okay? All right, so this is, pretty straightforward. If I click on hide, for example, it'll hide the list. If I click on show, it'll show the list, okay? Now you could also show and hide over here from the left-hand side by check marking here, okay? Now, what is this right here? Length of fruits. So this will basically tell you how many items you have in your list. Okay, so if I click on this block, notice it says 5, okay, because we have 5 items, all right? Okay, so now let's say I add one more. Right now it's empty, so if I click on length, it'll say that it's 6. Even though my 6th item is empty, it still counts as an item, okay? It's still on our list. It's just that we haven't, given it a value, okay? All right, so now how do you delete an item? Well, you can just click on the item itself and click on this X to get rid of it, right? That's how you can delete it. Now, if you want to edit your item, you could just click on the item itself and make the edit right here. Okay, for example, if I wanted to say apples, I can do that. Okay, all right. Okay, so that's how you add items to the list manually. This is how you check the length of a list using this block. So now what if we wanted to add items to the list using our program, right, our code? What you can do is you can use this block right here, the add block. So let's say I wanted to add grapes to my list. I could just enter in grapes right here. And then I can click on the block. And there you go. It just added grapes, okay? Okay, so now you normally wouldn't just click on the block to add something to your list. Normally your program is going to do it for you, right? So let's create a simple program where we ask the user to pick a fruit and we'll add that fruit to our list, okay? So let's do this. Let's go ahead and go over to events. Let's grab the when space key pressed, and then let's grab the ask block. Okay, we're going to ask them, what's your favorite fruit? Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to add answer to fruits. Okay, simple as that. A pretty simple program. So let's go ahead and click on space. Okay, now it's asking what's your favorite fruit. Let's say I want cherry. And there you go. We added cherry to our list. Okay, so now let's see how we can delete something from our list using the program. Okay, so let's go over here to events. Let's click on, let's use when up arrow pressed. Then let's go back to our variables. Let's grab this one, delete. block. Right now it says delete one of fruits. Basically what that means is delete the first item of fruits, okay? So if I were to go ahead and click on the up arrow, you'll notice it got rid of apple. So now apple got deleted and banana is number one on the list, right? So we didn't simply just, erase the apple. We actually deleted it. We removed it from our list, okay? Now, so if I were to select, for example, number 4 and click on the up arrow, that got rid of oranges, right? Okay. So that's how you delete something from a list using the numbers, okay? The number of the item that you want to delete, okay? So now this block over here, the one that says delete all of fruits, this will delete everything inside the list, okay? You can experiment with that on your own, but if I were to click on it, it will delete everything, okay? So that's the delete all right? All right, so next, let's take a look at this block right here, the insert thing one, insert thing at one of fruits. This basically tells the program to insert something into our list at this position, right? For example, right now saying at 1, right? So if I were to click on this and I were to put orange, insert orange at 1, okay, at the first position. If I click on this, you'll notice oranges is at number 1, and then it pushed everything down, right? So I can insert something else here. I can insert like blueberry. I can insert blueberry at, for example, number 4, okay? And if I click on that, there you have it. You have blueberry and number 4, and then it pushed everything else down, right? Okay, so they'll say you insert an item at whatever position you want, okay? All right, so next, let's look at this plot right here. Replace item 1 of fruits with thing. It's basically saying, okay, I want you to go to whatever item is in here of fruits and then replace that with whatever is here, okay? For example, let's say I want to replace grapes, which is at number 6. I want to replace grapes with mandarin. I can just do it like that. And when I click on it, there you go. Now the grapes got replaced with mandarin. Okay, so let me drag this and make it a little bit bigger since our list is getting a little bigger so we can see everything. All right, so next let's look at this block right here, item 1 of fruits. This will basically tell you what that item number is in the list. So if I click on this, it'll say item 1 is oranges, right? If I put 4, item 4 is blueberry, okay? Okay, so next, let's look at this block, item number of thing and fruits. This will give you the position of an item inside your list, okay? So for example, if I were to type in here cherry, and I click on that, it says number 7, right? Tells you what position that item is. So cherry is the last item, right? Position 7. So if I were to do kiwi, it'll say kiwi is number 5 on the list, okay? All right, so next, let's look at this last block right here. Fruits contains thing. This will tell you if a certain item is inside the list. For example, if I click on a fruits contains thing, it'll say false, right? Because there's nothing in our list that says thing, right? But if I were to put kiwi and I click on that, it'll say true, that kiwi is inside of fruits, okay? All right, so those were the basics of a list. Now let's take a look at how we can use a list in our program. So over here, I have a sprite here with some code in it. So basically this code is when the green flag is clicked, you set a count to 1, and then you repeat for the length of fruits, okay? So if you remember this block right here, the length block, okay? The length of fruits will tell you how many items we have in our list. So if I click on this, it'll say 7, okay? So basically our loop will repeat 7 times, okay? Now, what are we doing inside the loop? we're using a say block to say item count of fruits for 1 second. So if you look over here, the count is 1 in the beginning, okay? So we're gonna say, okay, item 1 of fruits, okay? Item 1 of fruits is oranges, right? Okay, so it's gonna say oranges. And then we're gonna change count by 1. So now the count is gonna be 2. So next we're gonna say item 2 of fruits, which is banana. And then count goes up by 1. Now the new count is 3. So it's gonna say item 3 of fruits, strawberry, and so on and so forth until it goes to number 7, okay? Because we're repeating the length of fruits, okay, which is 7 fruits. So we're gonna repeat 7 times, okay? And each time the count goes up by 1, okay? So let me go to variables. Let's go ahead and select count so that you can see what's going on. So when I click on start, we're gonna set count to 1, right? So let's go ahead and connect this. So then we go ahead and click on the green flag and I'll show you how this works, okay? And all right, there we go. So oranges, banana, strawberry, blueberry, kiwi, mandarin, and cherry. Okay, so we went through our entire list one by one. Now we output each item, right? You see that? So the count right now is 8. So if I click on start again, count goes back to 1, right? And look, it's going up by 1 each time. All right, so that was a simple program showing you how you can use a loop to check each item in your list, okay? All right, so now let's look at one more example. So basically here I have some more advanced code. If you'll notice, I created a variable called clone, and I also created a new list called bullet position, okay? And if you look on the right-hand side, right now bullet position is empty, okay? So this is going to, basically this list is going to track the position of our bullets, okay? And you'll see what I mean in a second here. So if you look at the code, what I got going on is when the green flag is clicked, we are going to hide our sprite, and then we're going to delete all of bullet position. Basically, we're going to clear out our list, and then we're going to set our variable clone number to 1, okay, for the first clone. And then we have a loop right here, forever loop. Inside the loop, we're checking for mouse down, okay? If you click down on the mouse, then you wait until you're not clicking on the mouse anymore. And after that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add mouse as X position. Basically, that's where you clicked on the screen. Look at the X position of the mouse. We're gonna add that to our bullet position list, okay? This list is going to keep a track of all of our mouse clicks, the X position of the mouse click, okay? And then we create a clone, okay, create a clone of myself, okay? And then as soon as we create a clone, so we have right here says when I start as a clone, we're going to show the clone, or we're going to say go to X, right? Item clone of bullet position, all right? So what does that mean, item clone of bullet position? So if you remember, our variable clone number, okay, it's gonna go up by 1 each time we create a clone. So the first time we create a clone, the item 1, the clone is gonna be 1, okay? So we're gonna take item 1 of bullet position, and we're gonna send our bullet to that X position, okay? And then the Y is gonna be minus 160. So we're not changing the Y stays at 160, but the X position is gonna change, right, from left to right, okay? All right, and so what happens then? Then we change the clone by 1. Okay, so we need to increase our clone variable by 1 once we have created a clone. Okay, so that we can, create more clones. And then you have a forever, and basically this is saying change Y by 5. Okay, that's going to make our bullet move up. And if our Y position is greater than 200, then delete this clone. Okay, so when the bullet gets to, for example, 200, okay, so right now Y is 163, so 200 is going to be off the screen. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's change this to 160, okay. So as soon as the bullet gets to 160, we're going to delete the clone, okay. All right, so now let's go ahead and run the code so you can see what's going on. Let me go ahead and connect this. All right, so now when I click on the green flag, okay, so you'll notice our bullet is hidden, right? And we have this code running right here. Okay, so now as soon as I click on the screen, let's say I click over here. Okay, you'll notice the bullet position number 1 is minus 200, right? That's the X position of where I clicked. And as soon as I clicked down on it, we created a clone of the bullet, and we made the bullet go to this position, -200 and -160. Okay, so now let's see if I click over here in the middle of the screen, you'll notice that the X position for the second clone is -13, right? Which is right here. And this, let's say I click on the right. So the X position over here is 193. Okay, so anywhere you click on the screen, we're gonna make a note of where the X position is in our list. And then we're using that value right here. Okay, we're using that value to tell the bullet where to go. Okay, so I can click here, I can click here. Doesn't matter where I click, our list keeps track of where we're clicking, and that's what we're using to send the bullet to that position. Okay, that's it for this video. I hope all this makes sense to you. Go ahead and create some lists so you can get a better understanding of how they work. All right, guys, bye-bye.